super, super excited to have you on. And we're super excited to hear about this new Audible project that you have coming out. It's called Hit Job. It's out April 22nd. Can you tell us a little bit about this? Because I think people are still kind of not sure what exactly Audible means. Like when they say this is out on Audible, it's like, what is that exactly?
Right.
No, for sure. I mean, I can explain that. Like, I remember growing up, I used to listen to Tom Joyner on the radio, obviously not because I wanted to, but because my mom listened to it. So I grew up on it and obviously became a fan of Tom Joyner. But I remember as a kid, he used to have this show that would come in between like the music and his, like come in between his talking sections. And it would be like, it's your world. Levita walked in and found out that Tom was with another woman. And it was like, you know, this whole story that you end up, you know, creating in your mind. And that is ultimately what Audible is. It's TV shows and ideas and projects that are, you know, telling you a narrative, but they aren't giving you the visual to it. They're allowing you to kind of have fun and create that aspect of it yourself. And you can also get something cool and interesting, you know, on your way to work or when you take your walk or, you know, whatever. It doesn't have to always necessarily be a podcast or a talking thing, but it can be a TV show. And that's ultimately what Hit Job is. And it really is super smart because it covers a lot of the different themes that you would deal with when you're working in the office or living in America and trying to pay your bills and trying to get health insurance and having to be stuck working in a job that maybe doesn't really always align with you, that you're kind of trying to figure out morally if it really lines up, but you still need to make sure your family's okay. And I think those are all the kind of things that we're always constantly asking ourselves when we're trying to make it in this world. And so I really love how they decided to, you know, kind of expose those topics in this very kind of cool and interesting, provocative way.
Yeah, it's
still being funny.
Yeah, it's sort of relaxing in a way because, like you mentioned, podcasts. You know, that's what people are listening to on their way to work. They're just going about their day. You're not necessarily.
This is a podcast.
Yeah, this is a podcast right now. People are doing exactly that.
Yep.
And you're not staring at a screen. You can let your imagination wander. It's more relaxing in a way, in a different way to consume a TV show. We are obsessed with watching TV, maybe too much. Like we watch anything and everything that's put out there. But then you realize you're like, I'm staring at the screen so much. So I feel like getting that little juice that you crave from a TV show and then getting it this way is awesome. It's such a new way for people to get content like that.
Yeah, it is. I couldn't agree more. And it's also so fun, like, you know, just to, like you said, just the idea that you can kind of create those worlds in your own mind. And I think we are all kind of getting tired of always being on the screen, and we would like another alternative just so we could feel like, you know, finally I'm doing something else.
Yeah. Now the cast for this is amazing, but I'm guessing that you don't really work with them like that much, right? You can all kind of record your own stuff on your own time and then it all gets put in. Because I'm looking at the list of names and I'm like, oh my God, so many amazing people. I mean, Pete Davidson is, I guess, technically, you know, your co-star in this as well. Did you get to work with him at all, or was it kind of like Keke does her part, Pete does his part, and then they put it together?
Now, me and Pete actually got to kick it. We actually got to work on it together, which is very rare, and I did not expect for us to. But I think it actually made a difference for sure than any other thing I've done before. I mean, obviously animation is different, but I don't know. I just had a lot of fun because I didn't feel like I was in there on my own. And it was cool to set up because it's like I'm in my booth and he's in his booth and we have like a window that we can see each other through. And so we would both be just living our own little world, but we'll be like bobbing out, and every now and then we'd be like, what's up? It's good to see you, man. You know, we would talk and hang out. He's a cool guy, and it was so fun, like, doing comedy with him. Obviously, he's been focused on comedy specifically since he was like, 9, 10, 11 years old. So it was cool for me because I've really started to kind of embrace, you know, comedy more, and you know, as my career has evolved. So it was nice to do a project with someone that's been doing it for as long as him and playing with rhythms and seeing how he works. I learned some stuff for sure.
Did you guys know each other beforehand, or was that the first time meeting?
That was the first time we met. Yeah, we never.
And what was the first impression? I feel like Pete Davidson's such like a hot commodity on the internet. Like people are obsessed with Pete Davidson. Did you feel that when you were around him?
I felt definitely like, yo, he's cool. I felt like he was definitely a cool dude for sure. Like I didn't feel like he thought he was cool though. So he doesn't give that energy at all. He's like very like, you know, oh, you know, like, yeah, you know, like
yeah. See, that's what I like. I think that's why people really like him, because they're like, oh, he's awkward, but he's cool.
he's totally awkward and totally embracing of it too. It's like weird. It's like, how could you be awkward, but then also be embracing of your awkward? How are you confident in your awkwardness? That's a whole other level, you know? But
For sure.
And that's the relaxed energy that he has with that. It makes him a cool guy. So I definitely would love to work with him again. It was really fun.